So let's continue with the second version of the video, the second part that is. So what we want to accomplish is get all the URLs from the different files and then finally just store them in a file. Maybe if I had a part 3, I would do something like have a CSV file or another type of file and have like the key value. I want to replace them. For example, I want to replace like computer programming from this title to something like software development. So I could do that and it will work. So maybe if we have some time, we will do this. So let's go back to I've cleaned a bit our project. I've cleaned a bit the codes. Just put to continue it. If you remember, we are just going to output the name of the file. So if it works, so we have this awesome logic here. It just works out of the bag. So we are going to file content. If you remember how we use it, so we don't have the file content here. Of course, we can have some. Here we are going to read it. File itself. Oops. Typo. Then here we are going to use this conversion. What it means is that we are just iterating from this array and we don't need to, this is one of the beautiful things with Ruby, we don't need to put curly. So the same logic here, but does it work? Let's see, I've added a number to count about it, just see if it works. So number, we concatenate with urls.length. Then we put it here. Does it work? Number. I think number is restricted. Find number local. Number what? Count. Okay, let's see if it works. Count. I actually put number here and then I put numbers below, so it works like this. But number doesn't exist. I just ignore this. But so it is displayed. So let's go once again here. Actually, one awesome tip with Ruby is you can use something like that. Actually, it won't work because this enables you to check if the number doesn't already exist and take this value. But right now we are concatenating. So here we see it works. Maybe we don't really need these numbers. We have a lot of links going on. So here we could put something like I just mentioned, but we don't need to do that. Alright, that is good. We see that we have different ones. What if we want, so since this is a block, we won't have access to URLs outside. Just show you. So it's a block, it doesn't have access because it's like a lambda and the expression is gone. But if you would want, for example, first URL is equal to this, and we just come here, first URL is equal to URLs.first, but even then it's not going to work well because each time it's just concatenating, but this is just an example of how it should work. Okay, so it's good. We know that we are getting the links right now, and let's continue with our adventure. So RubyMine doesn't like an empty space, doesn't matter. We are reading it, so we just have a URLs, all URLs, result URLs. It's an array, and then we just need to put eraser. So we can just push it like we would do normally with a program, with the general Ruby language. It will work, but when we are talking Ruby, we have what we call the Ruby way of doing things, and the Ruby way is basically instead of using push, we use a bit more idiomatic. Idiomatic means that something concerning a way of doing of the language, for example, uh, idioms that we use, for example, in English, different ways of doing things. Let me just take an example from our good friend, example of an idiom in English. So just to illustrate how it works. Oh, I'm not using my mechanical keyboard, so I'm making a bit more typo that's usual. So, just to explain an idiom in English, it's like it's something that has figurative meaning, but has some meaning actually. Something that we can accept, we can agree upon. For example, in English, break a leg. So this is wishing someone good luck. So similarly, idiom in Ruby is, or any programming language, like say it's a common pattern or technique used to solve a particular problem. Like you can say it's idiomatic, and for example in C sharp you put it really verbose, you write interfaces a lot, so on and so forth. So here you are going to use this methods, this arrow, but it's not like it. It's an offense actually. I don't know why. I just fix it, so I think it's just a question of space or something. So let's see the result. URLs dot length. Okay, but we need to actually put the result on the screen, and here we have 5. Yeah, so it's an array of an array finally. Okay, that first. Let's print the first dot the first, because an array of an array. So we have this link. Let's see the last element. So yeah, so actually what's happening, it's just concatenating everything in the same array, and so it's good. But what if we want to flatten it? We can use flatten. Let's use flatten. Normally it should just put everything in the same flatten results URLs. We want to put everything. Of course, we can build it in a way that instead of having the result URL, we can just have the same here. We can just concatenate the same array. So if we wanted to do that, we just actually it's a better idea, because we want to declare as least amount of variable as possible, of course without compromising readability. So if we wanted to do just that, we just single URL, we do it directly here like this. Then we put all these lines above, so that everything we have here working. But in this example, I just can just use flatten to show you how we can just put all of these nested arrays in a single array. So flatten result array, you just result array, and then just array dot flatten. So normally in a programming language we will write it like that, but here we don't really need to fix it. We don't actually need to have this curly braces. It looks better as well. This is one of these idea behind Ruby. Like it should, yeah, you should see a maximum of. It should resemble English as close as possible. So let's see the first one. Let's also put the last one. Dot last, but you can also get any position if you wish, just by put flatten result URLs dot 5 just by mentioning the index. So here we have the value, so we have every value. So at the end what we want to do, just print it in a file. So how to do that? Print so we have Ruby free print content of an array in a file. So whether the file exists or not is none of my concern. Maybe it is, maybe it doesn't. Aren't it? So let me think about the ways we can do that. We can just simply put it in a file. We can also put it as a CSV element. So let's just put it in the file. Here's an example. Just copy paste it, and we put it here. But we, as a matter of fact, we can comment it and just copy. So our result is flatten URL. Well, flatten result URL. And to just write it, we are going to use our good friend file. I can't type today. Like writable, no write. So the file name we call extract urls dot txt maybe, I don't even know, markdown maybe. So our array flatten result dot join, and we are going to use the same delimiter here. Okay, does it work? Is it happy? It's not happy. So this one is not happy. Okay, what is not going on with this? Prefer single quoted string. Ah, this purely this is Rubacup. So in this way, I think it just fixed everything. Let's just see if our files get created, and if so, let's extracted URLs extracted successfully. Let's see if it works. It won't like this, like I just show you. It prefers a single quote unless we are going. Okay, do we have the file actually? I don't even see the file here. So did it work? Refresh, refresh, refresh. Where is the refresh? Reload from disk. Yes, so we have it working here and it's all good, all beautiful. Alright, if I have time, I will post the third version where we can replace the file and it's going to be nice. So until then, goodbye, and if you find this type of content interesting, please do subscribe and like and share with your friends on the network. And hopefully, if I have some time, I will be touching more scripting, problem solving, algorithm things later on, of course, web development, and so on, so forth.